Hey everybody, it's Andrew Martin coming to you with another video. It is early in the morning. It's just a little before 8 here in sunny Seattle. You can see the sun is streaming in through my blinds. I don't know, can you see that? Look at that glow. That's my little desk over there where I create my empire in my plant jungle. I don't know if you can see all my plants. I love my heart. Sorry to give you vertigo with the camera going back and forth. I'm still a little sleepy. I've been sitting on the couch having my coffee. You may notice that I'm wearing the same t-shirt as I was in my last video. Calm down. I don't only have one t-shirt. You might be thinking, ooh, gross. He always wears the same t-shirt. Or, oh, poor Andrew. He only has one t-shirt. No, these are my pajamas. But I'm sitting here on my couch and I was thinking this morning about just the path that I've been on and how, it's been 2 years now that I've been consciously doing this work. About a year and a half now that I've been, 3 years now I've been consciously doing this work. God, time flies. Or I should say time just dissipates. It just disappears. It's so random. And it's been about 2 years almost that I've been doing this work consciously full time. And, I was thinking this morning about the path of just creating what you really want to do in this life. And for those of us that are entrepreneurs or self-employed, for those of us who are moving towards what it is that we are called to do, and when it's a soul thing and you just don't know why you're being called to do something, but you just know that it's the thing that you're meant to do, and you just find yourself moving in a direction that may not make sense logically or rationally, but there's this call and there's this pull and there's this voice that keeps nudging you forward and keeps saying, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And, I've had several periods in my life where I've been self-employed. I was a makeup artist for a long time and I was freelance for several years. I had a business, a staging business, a home staging business, and also a house cleaning business for several years. I had another makeup company slash makeup artistry company with a friend for several years. I've had moments of just kind of being unemployed and helping out friends and just sort of wandering around waiting to see what came up. I've had my paintings and my art that has also played a part in sustaining me over the past couple of years. But the difference between all of those other moments and all of those other careers and paths as an entrepreneur and the one that I have now is all of the ones previously I was willing to give up because, and at the time I didn't realize this, but what I was thinking this morning was the path to get to the truth of who we are in our lives at all, ever, is a path that at times can be very dark in terms of facing our fears and going into the places that make us uncomfortable and embracing the parts of ourselves that maybe we really don't want to look at and really having to face the truth of who we are. I always say that the path of the heart is not always easy. Love is not always soft and delicate. I said this in my blog post yesterday. Sometimes, we always talk about love and light. Sometimes love is the hammer that comes and smacks you upside the head to wake you up. And sometimes light is a bolt of lightning that comes down and zaps the fuck out of you and totally burns off all your illusions. So it's not always easy. It's worth it. And it's valuable and it's meaningful, and doing that work and going to those dark places and doing the internal inventory and the excavation that is required to get to the truth of who you are, whatever that means for you, is not always easy and fun. And for myself, there were plenty of times that I was like, oh my God, can you just plug me back into the matrix? I just wish I didn't know what I know now. There were times when I had those thoughts, but ultimately it was enough to keep moving forward, because it's like pulling a thread on a sweater. Once you start to unravel it, you can't stop. You just have to keep going. And so my point is I found myself at many times in my life willing to give up what it was that I was working on and what it was that I was doing in terms of being self-employed and being on my own path. And, I gave up and went back to working for somebody else or plugging myself back into a corporate life or whatever, or, wanting to just not do what it was that was in front of me. And my thoughts are, and what I know now is that if at any point we get to the moment where we have a choice between giving up and keep going, if the choice to give up is the more realistic, more powerful, more meaningful, the choice that resonates more with you as the true choice to make, give up as soon as you can. And that seems very counter to the whole point of keep going, no matter what, keep going forward. But my point is this, is that now doing this work, being self-employed over the past almost 2 years, there has been some serious white knuckle moments. There have been moments of, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can keep going. I don't know if this is worth it. How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to eat? How am I going to, just keep going forward? Where are my clients? I don't know how to do this. What's happening? There have been every single step along the way. There have been those moments where my mind was telling me, just give up, dude, just go back to work. But ultimately, the choice to keep moving forward, regardless of what my mind was telling me and regardless of what circumstances were showing me on a physical level, my gut kept telling me, go forward, go forward, go forward. And so I did, and I have. And I finally am seeing the fruits of my labor starting to pay off, and my life is starting to finally physically catch up to the way that I knew that it would. The feeling comes first. The soul, when we project ourselves into a future potential, when we project ourselves into a version of our lives where we are successful and we are happy and we are fulfilled and we are doing what lights us up and makes us happy, the spirit always goes there first. The imagination and the vision always exists first. And that doesn't mean that that version that we are seeing from our spirit's point of view, or that we are imagining in our visualizations, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. What that means is that the spirit exists there first, then the mind catches up, and once the mind is on board, then the body follows. So it is really spirit, mind, body. And when our spirit gets there and inhabits that, we know in our gut and we know in the core of who we are that it's going to exist, and that's really the truth that we're moving towards. And so we feel it first, we envision it first, we imagine it first. And my life is finally now physically starting to catch up to the vision that I always had for my life. And in the past, it didn't. In the past, there were times when I was like, you know what? I just don't want to do this anymore. This entrepreneurial venture, this business that I've created just isn't worth it. So my advice is that if you ever have a moment when giving up is more of a authentic choice than keep going, then give up. Give up as soon as you can. Create an exit strategy as soon as you can. Even when you're working for someone else, if the thought of going to work and continuing on the path, if the thought of showing up in a relationship and continuing down the path of the relationship, if the thought of continuing to embrace habits and behaviors in your life is less satisfying and less rewarding than doing something else or quitting or going in a new direction or stopping, then do the thing that's telling you to stop as soon as you can. Make the choice as soon as you can. Certainly there are going to be periods of stepping back to reevaluate. And certainly there are going to be periods of climbing up that mountain and pushing and struggling and working to get to the peak. Because in order for there to be the downward, free-falling, going with the flow momentum moments, there's got to be a climb. It's like a roller coaster. You're never going to get to the peak and have that, oh my God, here we go. You're never going to have those moments without the tick, 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 tick up the hill. And you can't, how many metaphors can I use? You can't plant and harvest at the same time. So certainly there are going to be moments of effort and pushing and working, and the concentration and the focus that it takes to continue on your path may feel monumental at times. However, when we are moving in the right direction, there will always be that inner voice that's telling us, keep going, you can do it, you're almost there, one more step, one more step, one more step. If that inner voice is telling you, girl, I don't know, are you sure you really want to do this? I mean, do you really want to get up and do this one more day? That's a very valid place to be. And when you find yourself there, really ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Is this something that's really worth my blood, sweat, and tears? If I'm working for myself and I'm sacrificing and I'm scraping and I'm trying to get by, but in the end, it doesn't really even feel like something I care about or want to do, stop. Stop. When we are on the path that we are aligned with the truth of who we are and the work that we came here to do, and having the experiences and living in the way that feels like we're moving towards something that in some way is expanding and getting bigger and is feeding us on some level, that's when we are moving in the right direction. People ask me all the time, am I on the path? Well, my answer is, if you're alive, you're on the path. The question is, because if there was not still work for you to do, then you wouldn't be here. If you had achieved everything in this lifetime that you were supposed to achieve or you had agreed to achieve, then you wouldn't be here anymore. Game over, let's go. So when we're alive or on our path, the question is, where is your path leading you? And you always have your internal GPS system. You always have your guidance really honestly telling you, honey, maybe this isn't the best way for you to go. Are you sure you want to continue down this path? Is this really the direction that you want to be going and the things that you want to be doing? Is this really something that resonates with you as the truth of who you are? And if the answer is no, stop. As soon as you can, stop. Create an exit plan, make a new decision, create a new strategy, ask for help, ask for guidance, but as soon as you can, stop doing the things that make you unhappy, and you will eventually, sometimes by process of elimination, you will eventually find the direction that feels true to who you are. And when you find the direction that feels true to who you are, despite the fact that there will be moments of doubt and of oh my God, can I keep going? How am I going to do this? Is this going to work? There will still be the part of you that says, yes, you can keep going. Yes, you can do this. Yes, this will work. Yes, it is worth it. I promise you, around the bend is what you've been looking for. And it may seem like one breadcrumb at a time, but if you follow the breadcrumbs, I promise you, sooner or later, you will look up and you will realize that you've entered the enchanted forest, and how the fuck did I get here? And hallelujah, I am so excited I finally made it. So that's my message for today, is struggle is not an indicator of success or failure. Struggle is here to get us to reevaluate. Is the direction that I'm moving in, is the thing that I'm doing really worth the work that I am having to do? And if the answer is yes, it is, and I may not know why it's worth it, I may not know why I continue to push on and forge ahead, but I know that I need to, then keep doing. If the answer is no, this isn't worth it, I don't even care about this, I don't even like this person, I hate this job, I'm miserable, then stop as soon as you can. That's it. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm going to finish some more coffee and change my t-shirt. And I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.